Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's video. Okay, all right. You might have been wondering why you see Chinese funded infrastructure development projects around the world, especially in Africa, Eastern Europe, Middle East, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Central Asia, and the South Pacific region of the world. Okay, the reason is not far-fetched. I will tell you the reason. But before I do that, please, I would like you to kindly, after watching this video, like, share, and comment on this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification button so that when I make interesting videos like this and post them, you'll be the first to get notification and you watch it. Okay, all right. As I was saying, the reason why you see Chinese funded projects around the world is not far-fetched. It's because of a project called the Belt and Road Initiative, which is BRI for short. Okay, the Belt and Road Initiative is a Chinese Chinese government initiative. Okay, it is called the Belt and Road Initiative, and in China it is called One Belt, One Road, and it's sometimes referred to as the New Silk Road. Okay, what the BRI simply means, okay, is a global infrastructure development strategy adopted by this present Chinese government led by Xi Jinping. It was adopted in 2013, okay, for the sole aim of investing in 150 countries and organizations. That's the sole aim of that party of the BRI, okay? And it actually comprises of 6 urban development land corridors, which is road, rail, energy, digital infrastructure, and also a maritime Silk Road linked by the development of seaports around the world. Okay, if you don't understand this definition I gave to you now, I will also break it down further. Okay, the BRI actually, what it means is that it's a transcontinental passage, okay, that links China with Southeast Asia, South Asia, Central Asia, Russia, and Europe, okay, by land, and a 21st century maritime Silk Road that links China's coastal regions to Southeast Asia, South Asia, South Pacific, Eastern Africa, all the way to Europe and Middle East. Okay, that is what it means. And if you still don't understand this definition, I'll break it down further to you in layman's terms now, that will make you understand it better. Okay, actually, what the Belt and Road Initiative actually is a Chinese government strategy, okay, initiated by the Chinese government, okay, that seeks to connect Asia, Africa, and Europe via land and maritime networks with the aim of improving regional integration, okay, increasing trade, and stimulating economic growth. That is what it means. Okay, now, you say, what is this BRI self? As I've explained to you with 3 definitions now, let me break it down further. What it means is that the BRI is actually basically a Chinese government foreign policy, okay, to hold on to power around the world, okay, by building infrastructures in emerging markets, in emerging economies. Emerging economies are countries in Africa, you know, some Eastern European countries, Middle East countries, Southeast Asia, South Pacific, and all the likes. Okay, it's just a foreign policy by the Chinese government. As I speak now, okay, they have even made the BRI. It is enshrined in the Chinese constitution. It's a foreign policy for China to hold on to become a superpower. Okay, but mind you, these infrastructures are not being built free of charge. They are being built and funded by Chinese financial institutions like the Chinese Development Bank, Export and Import Bank of China, the Silk Road Fund, then Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank, the AIIB. They give loans to these emerging countries, not free loans, but at a profit. You pay back in profit. You pay back with profit. Okay, they give loans and they build infrastructures for you. Infrastructures in terms of ports, airports, seaports, dams, you know, railways, that's standard gauge railways. They do that around all these regions I've mentioned, which are Africa, most especially East African countries, okay, Eastern European countries, Middle East countries, Southeast Asian countries, Central Asian countries, South Asian countries, and the Southern Pacific regions of the world. You understand? So these things are actually being done just for China for them to get hold of all these emerging markets by building infrastructures for them to become a superpower. Okay, you're not doing it free of charge. That's why you see some of these countries, they don't even have the ability to pay back these loans. Like when they were carrying, I don't think it's a rumor anyways. When I think in China in Zambia sometime ago, they said the Chinese government took over the airport because the Zambian government were unable to pay back the loan they took from China to build an infrastructure in Zambia. Okay, this infrastructural development is around. They are doing it in all these regions I made mention of. Like the Abuja Kaduna Railway, Standard Gauge Railway, is a BRI initiative project. Okay, many projects like that around Africa, in Uganda, in Kenya, you in Zimbabwe, you go to in Hungary. There are many in Russia, in Indonesia, in India, in Malaysia. They are building these infrastructures around all these regions I made mention of. But the aim, okay, is to seek cooperation with these regions, and to also show their superpower, because they want to become. It's a foreign policy actually. That foreign policy has its own intentions. Just they are trying to grab power. Okay, the way the West, like the EU's, the Britain, the US and Canada of this world are trying to also show their superpower around these emerging economies. So that's what China is actually trying to do through the BRI initiative. They are building this infrastructure so that they can lure this economy, they can lure these emerging economies, these emerging countries, all these countries I mentioned in these regions. They can lure them and tilt them towards China. They can lure them towards them so they can be align with China. So that's what China is actually doing, to make these countries align with them by building these infrastructures. But they don't build it free of charge. They build it, they give loans, and those loans are repayable in profit over a period of time. You understand? They do so. The way they do it better than the Western countries. Unlike the Western countries that will give you some monetary policies that doesn't suit you, that will cost austerity measures, like the IMF of this world and World Banks and all the likes. They give emerging economies austerity measures. Okay, do this, devalue your naira, devalue your currency, and you have austerity measures. The people will be the ones to bear the brunt. But China doesn't do their own in that particular way. They did it in form of building infrastructures for you through BRI. Okay. So that's what it basically means. That's what China is doing. I'll give you a critical example, but the BRI, is it actually working? It's working, and in some aspect is also not working, because I want to give you a critical example of a failed BRI project. That actually failed, but is having issues. Okay, the Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway, which is about 500 something kilometers, if I'm correct, or 5,000 kilometers plus of railway, built by the Chinese firm. Okay, it was built at the cost of $3.6 billion for the sole aim of moving goods, cargoes from the Indian port city of Mombasa to Nairobi. And it also moves, humans as well, passengers as well. But since it has been built, the Kenyan government have not been able to repay that $3.6 billion back. They've only been able to repay about $300 million, making it they are still owing the Chinese government about $3.3 billion. Okay, and the reason why this has not been able to be achieved is because it has not really lived up to the standard, up to the expectations. That railway, that's Mombasa Nairobi Railway, has not been able to live up to the expectation, because they wanted to lift more of cargoes, more of containers from Mombasa Seaport to Nairobi. Okay, but the Truck Drivers Association of Kenya are actually protesting it, because if this railway lifts more of cargoes, that means the trucks that these drivers are driving won't be able to lift cargoes, won't be able to lift containers again, and they'll be out of job. So the drivers are now protesting. So that's why that Mombasa Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway that was constructed by the Chinese government has not really lived up to expectation. So it hasn't carried enough passengers, it doesn't carry enough cargoes as expected as it should carry. You understand? That's why it's underutilized and it's not generating enough fund. There is more expenditure going to servicing and other things than revenue. They are using more money to service it than what they are getting. You understand? So I think some time ago, I think last year or 2 years ago, because of this similar thing that's happening in Kenya is also happening in other countries where the BRI initiatives have been undertaken. So it's also happening in other countries like that. So because of that, the Chinese government has now scaled down on the kind of projects they undergo or they undertake under the BRI. They're now undergoing or executing lesser infrastructure projects. They're not building bigger ones like airports and seaports and standard railway and this thing anymore. They're just building little dams and other small infrastructure projects, not bigger ones again. Because some places where they are building these things, they're not really seeing the return as they ought to see. You understand? So basically, what the Chinese government what they are doing with the BRI is a form of a foreign policy program by the Chinese government just to tilt emerging economies towards them, so that they can so that they can become a superpower like the West already are. So they were tilting these emerging economies towards them, okay, just for these emerging countries to align with them, to align with Chinese government. You understand? It's just a rush of power, but that's their own way of doing it, because their own way is actually through the BRI is actually more lenient. So more of these my emerging economies are tilting towards the Chinese government because of the BRI project, instead of tilting towards the West, okay, like they were doing before, which their own, the way they give funds is so difficult through IMF, and they tell you to this and do that, and it causes austerity measures. You understand? So I hope I've been able to really educate you on what the BRI and what is actually causing, okay, why you see Chinese state-funded projects all around the world, especially in Africa, in Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. The reason is because of the BRI project, okay? Thank you for watching the video, and please, like I said earlier on, share this video and turn on the notification button so that when I post new videos like this, you will be the first to see it, okay? Thank you for watching.